Have either of you ever lived in Maryland?
DC, so just over the
DC.
line.
All right, neither of you. So I can't call either of you a Maryland man. Either of you know what Abrego Garcia's voice sounds like? Either of you ever heard him talk? You
Yes.
have? Okay. I don't remember hearing him talk. Here he is, newly released. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, number 24, please, talking about injustice. Well, we need the audio, or the whole thing's ruined. Sam, we have the audio?
No le bajaré la cabeza a nadie. Siempre estaré de
They'll
pie
translate in a
sobre
second.
todas las injusticias que ha hecho este gobierno.
I stand here today with my head held up high, and I will continue to fight and stand firm against all of the injustices this government has done upon me.
Andrew, where'd you hear him talk previously?
No, I saw this video.
Oh, earlier today. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but not before today.
No. But this is, I have spoken to so many people who are now concerned about the birthright citizenship issue, who are seeing these immigrants used as political footballs, and it's just un-American, right? This is such a far cry from the new Colossus poem that we see at the steps of the Statue of Liberty. Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. And instead we have, give us your hardworking Americans who've worked so hard to get to this country, and we're going to throw them in jail after we've taken their taxes. This is absurd.
Let me ask you, Joel, what to you is the lesson of this Abrego Garcia story? If you were lecturing at a high school civics class, they said, what's gone on with this man? What's the story? What would you say the lesson is for the country?
Well, the lesson here is really a lack of both law enforcement and proper following judicial orders. Let's back up a little bit before Mr. Garcia became a household name. We know that our courts had granted him protective status, ostensibly because he was under threat of gang violence in his home country. And he was ordered by the court. He could not be deported until that had been sorted out. And the Trump administration removed him anyway in defiance of that court order. It was our own Supreme Court here in the United States, which majority of them were appointed by Republican presidents, that demanded that the administration seek his return after they deported him. So first off, our administration did not have a right to deport him. Now, after he was returned to the United States, he was pulled over. He was accused of being engaged in human smuggling several years ago. And if that's true, he needs to be held accountable. But the prosecutors and the federal government need to move forward on those charges, move forward on the prosecution if they believe there's evidence that warrants that. So I think this is a failure just on multiple ends. He was overstayed his lawful status, and then the administration went against court orders that had given him protective custody. It's really a mess all around on this.
Well, but if I could just interject, there's also this issue about testing the limits of the willingness to enforce judicial order, right? They have made this decision, largely driven by Stephen Miller, that they are going to try and push and prod around the edges of the rule of law in the United States. And they have determined that immigrants are the most vulnerable community and the one that's least likely to be defended. And they frame them as criminals when, in fact, 99% of these people that they're going after are hardworking immigrants who come and pay taxes and are actually servicing our communities and helping make things better. And they're using this to determine how far they can go in other ways, in other places, and on other issues to go around the courts and implement laws that were not passed by Congress and laws that were not vetted by courts.
Andrew, they did come to the country illegally, though.
I mean, you cannot blame poor people for not wanting to die.
Well,
like that's the basis of this, right? Like these people are under threat. These people are fighting for their lives.
Well, some of them are. Some of them are, but some of them just come here illegally because they want to work.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about in this case. That's exactly the argument that the Trump administration is trying to take advantage of to push the edge on the rule of law and what can be implemented.
All right. Cozy Earth, still available to you, 40% off, but act tonight. Trust me, I can't tell you when it's ending, but act tonight. 40% off everything on the Cozy Earth website. Those are the sheets, the bubble cuddle blanket, the towels. You'll never use another towel again. You may travel with these towels over winter break and say the hotel towels, well, they're not good enough. And then, of course, the T-shirts. And then, of course, the pants. All available to you now at extraordinary 40% off. Go to CozyEarth.com. Buy something for everyone on your list, as well as some stuff for yourself. It's not effortless to buy pants for others, but you can. And, of course, if they don't fit, you'll send it back. Cozy Earth is giving the gift of comfort that lasts beyond the holidays and carries into a cozy new year. 40% off everything on the site. If you're listening now, you have time to give the gift of luxury this holiday season. CozyEarth.com. The promo code is two-way for an extraordinary 40% off everything that you purchase. Thank you for your attention to that matter.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.